Hey everybody, David Olson here. You're listening to Tom and Zeus here on the Shout It Out Loudcast.
Oh boy. Here we go. This is Gene Simmons. Put that cookie down. Yes. I'm pressing the button. Brother Simmons. Star? Paul Stanley. Everybody does. Stop shouting. My name is Ace Riley. He's not what you would call a handsome man. Oh no, here come the kiss cards. Is that a positive thing? Okay. All right. I'm going to grab me an ice cold mellow yellow. Why do that to the fan? Stop it. Why? Because fuck them. That's what I'm talking about. 617-525. You do? Hey, fucko. Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus, another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast, episode 349. Paul Stanley and Eric Carr on MTV, 1989.
Yeah, TV clip time, and this one is definitely kind of a lost one. Not very well known, but we can always pick apart and dissect some information from this like we always do, so this will be fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, so and obviously our feedback. So this might be a little bit shorter than usual, but we always give you guys some sort of content. So let's get at it. Last week, we did the episode on the Love Gun Tour. Now, we're recording on a Tuesday, which we usually don't. Tomorrow night, the Bruins have their season opener on the road, so there's like a season ticket holder party event thing. So Tom, myself, Murph, and his wife are going to go to it in Medfa.
That's right.
And then Thursday, the Bruins open up, so I'll be at that. So we couldn't record on those 2 days. So we're recording a little earlier, and so the feedback is going to be a little shorter. So we'll see how this one goes. But before we get the feedback, Tom, today I had to go get my fingerprints done.
Uh-oh. What'd they find?
The dead bodies.
Okay.
They weren't bodies. They were dog carcasses. As I told you, I am lucky enough. I got a new head coach job at a different town.
Yes,
from
bravo.
Where I used to be. Thank you.
Yep, awesome.
And with that, I have to go get a fingerprint done.
That's right.
And I don't know if this has ever happened because of your job. Even though I know I have never done anything criminal, I'm like thinking to myself when I'm going in and doing this, I'm like, fuck, did I do anything that?
Well, no, it's not even that. It's not even you're worried that you did something. You're always like, you're worried about like the system getting fucked up.
Yeah.
And being like, Mr. Piandez, did you drive a white panel van in the early 2000s? No, I did not.
Like OJ's made Blanco. Fucking who knows? But you're always just second guessing yourself. Fuck, did I do something?
Always. It's like
anyways,
to be like,
I had to go get that shit done.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. But in the meantime, it's fucking Shout It Out Loudcast time. So we got to record this episode while I'm editing Monday's episode for Dorm Damage. Lots of fun.
There's a lot going on this week. Jesus Christ.
You know, with this new job, head coach job, I said to Tom, like, how long are we going to keep doing this?
The very first thing,
a lot of work.
The very first thing I said after congratulations and how proud I am of my friend and co-host about his head coaching job, all I thought about in the back of my mind was, this is the end of Shout It Out Loudcast. Like, because you're not just an assistant coach. You're not just the head coach of you are the head coach of a varsity hockey team for a major public school in Massachusetts, which if you know anything about high school hockey in Massachusetts, it's pretty much the end all be all.
Yeah. High school hockey is probably bigger than any other high school sport. The only thing I would compare it to is it's not as big as that, but in Minnesota high school hockey, Texas football, football. Things like that. Yeah. Right, or Florida. It's big. And so part of us, Tom, like even before this, I'm still like, I enjoy having these conversations. I love doing this with Tom and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the grind of like, I know I have to edit this episode. Like I can't, like I have to find time to get this episode out for Saturday. Like, there's no way around it. Like, it has to get done.
Yeah, the other thing too, and let me preface our comments by saying this isn't a pity party. We're kind of just giving you a peek behind the curtain, if you guys don't know. But recording is the easiest part of the entire week. Yeah. This is the easy part, but then it comes down to editing. Okay, what are we going to use for a social media image? Okay, what are we going to use for a social media?
Why don't you hold that, Tom? You know why I'm thinking? Please. I think we should do a Dorm Damage episode where we just break down a week in Shout It Out Loud.
Oh God, that would actually be really good.
Right?
A peek behind the curtain. Yeah. This is what Mondays look like. This is what Tuesdays look like.
Yeah. I'm curious if anybody would be interested. Maybe some people that are thinking about I want to think they might do a podcast and see what it takes.
There's a reason. There's a reason why so many podcasts flame out quickly. And I know that sounds bad. I'm not. I honest to God, I am not denigrating. I think
like half of them are done within a year.
And I'm not denigrating that, because I understand people get into it because it's exciting, but you have lives, you have family, you have jobs. You're like, I just can't keep up. I just can't do this.
Yeah. And if you don't see the success, and success can be measured any different way.
Right.
Like, you're like, I have 5 fucking listeners in week 1. I have 10 listeners now in month 6.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I doing?
Right.
And I feel like, all those shows that vanish are like that space junk.
Yeah.
Like shit in the atmosphere, just floating for eternity. That's out there. It'll never go away.
Nope.
And it's just out there.
And it's kind of weird because you can go back and listen to those. Like there are like every once in a while I'll search a topic for a podcast. I mean, I subscribe to like 1,000 different horror movie podcasts, and it'll say like, yeah, you may also like. I'm like, oh, what's this? This sounds cool. So I'll click on it and be like, blah blah blah. Like their last episode was in like May of 2018.
Oh yeah, I see that too.
But it's weird because you can go back and listen to the episodes, and it's like, I wonder if these guys even are aware that they have listeners like 7 years after the show went defunct. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, it's with what we do, I just find it fascinating that some of the podcasts out there that have been doing it even longer.
Oh yeah.
And manage it. It's just it's the daily grind of it all. Like, and then sometimes like Tom and I are thinking about it, it's like, all right, maybe we just get somebody to edit, or maybe we get somebody else to do our social media posts.
No,
but it's not us.
No,
it's not our. You'll know just by the way we edit that something's different now. Or
like the
post that Tom puts up or the thumbnail. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, why is this a little different now?
Well, like I joked with Zeus. I'm like, imagine if we had an editor, and I can picture the editor being like, beef stroganoff. This doesn't seem like this belongs to the guys. Do you mind if I edit that 10-minute rant on beef stroganoff? No, you got to keep that in.
Or if I go in the soundbite, like, oh, I think somebody had gas in the episode.
Yes, they did. No, don't take that out. But I'll finish with this, and here I'm sorry. I'm going to throw flowers at ourselves here. One of the reasons why this is a grind, and one of the reasons why we love this and why we do this and why we've been doing this for 500 plus total episodes amongst all of our things, and it's a grind, and it's exhausting. It's all work, and that's because we care. We're very proud of our work. We put a lot into it, and I'll just end it with this. It shows because we are the best at what we do, and that's because we work hard, and that's because you guys work hard as listeners to interact and give back to us with your feedback, with your comments, with your Patreon support. So all of that together has created this, which is what keeps us going into pushing into episode almost 400.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Tom. It makes it like if we're doing all this and we're still like, we don't see anything feedback, we don't see any success in where our numbers are at, then it's like, then what am I doing? Like, I don't need to do this.
Right. Or if
I
you put a social
need to do this.
Yeah, you put a social media post up and it gets literally zero interaction.
Oh, there are tons of shit out there
that. There is nothing more. And thank God, again, we're blessed and lucky to have the greatest listeners ever. That we know we post something, whether it's news, funny, a joke, or something. We are going to get interaction and feedback, and it's going to be amazing.
Dude, I put up that picture of that beef bourguignon, whatever.
By the way, that looks amazing. By the way,
and everybody was either like, "Oh, that looks delicious," or "Oh my God." And I said it. I said that fucking thing looks like it'll turn your internal organs into a sewer pipe. Oh, you're going to be leaving dents in the toilet after you eat that.
See, now if we had
people get that, and there's 20, 30, 40, 50 comments on it, and everyone's laughing and enjoying it. What the fuck's that have to do with Kiss? Nothing. But
which is why if we had an editor, I can picture us getting a text message. Guys, minute 9 of this episode, you mentioned something about a broken sewer pipe. Should we keep that in the episode?
Yes, and put it in a video with Jan Terry while you're at it. And that's just us. This is what we love to do, and we love to have these kind of conversations and stuff. I cannot imagine if we were doing this past 10 years, like some people, and post shit that fucking gets nothing. And it's like, again, I don't need this to have people to try to make friends.
No, we're lucky that we have made friends. I'll just say that right now.
More friends,
right? Yeah,
exactly. I have a great group of people in my life.
Yep.
I love meeting the new Loudcasters that now I consider friends. I get it.
Yep.
But Jesus Christ, it's exhausting.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Shit. Yes.
Wait until we start talking about Vegas.
My God. Oof. God bless. There's just a lot of moving parts in having a Kiss podcast that unfortunately come with the territory. So
Yep.
Anyway, I think we had something to talk about today. Last week we did the Love Gun Tour. Tom, let's start. Why don't you start us off?
Yep. So we did a poll, and this poll was, we say this all the time. Some polls are easy. Some polls are like, okay, let's get creative. So this one, we love talking about Kiss songs. So the poll was, we reviewed the 1977 Love Gun Tour. Which song out of these would you have wanted to hear them play the most on that tour? Now, we admittedly front-loaded this poll with one of the biggest fan favorite songs of all time, but it's always interesting to see what comes in second or third. So the options were I Stole Your Love, Take Me, Hooligan, and Ladies Room. Now, I Stole Your Love and Ladies Room were on Alive 2. Take Me and Hooligan were played in portions of the Love Gun Tour, but did not make it onto Alive 2. So, of course, no surprise, I Stole Your Love runs away at 65%. You got Take Me at 18%. Ladies Room at 11%, and My Poor Lonely Hooligan comes in at 6%. God, man, you guys.
I had Ladies Room. I love that. I love that on live.
Dude, that live version is fucking amazing.
I always picture Gene just almost in a rumble, all bloody.
I love it. I love it.
Yep. Just fucking battling through this song.
I love it. Todd Dammit, and that is not Todd Dammit Kearns. This is just somebody. This is just somebody with the username Todd Dammit. He says, "It's shocking to hear how small this tour actually was, given our memories of it." Yeah, this is why during the reunion tour build-up, Paul and Gene said that they had to build their show to the memory of Kiss, not the reality. That's a great point. I remember them saying that.
Yep,
I remember them. Yep. Leaf Lunatic says, "Hard question. I love every track, and I've never been disappointed by their choices in the selections to play live." Okay. Joseph Kiss Sr. says, "Definitely I Stole Your Love." Yeah, of course. And then we got tons of comments on how exciting people were for this because everybody loves this tour. Our buddy Steve, always amazed that this was one of the most legendary Kiss tours and it only lasted 32 shows. This, of all the spectacles, should have gone worldwide. Yeah, I know, it's true. Zeus, we got that Jim Polo guy is back. We keep saying this is John Whiteman, but we know Johnny hasn't come forward yet. It says, "Do you like the Love Gun Tour?" Hashtag.
The hashtags are always the best.
I don't know if you knew. All right, I'm going to read this. If you want to edit it, whatever. Hashtag.
I don't say that. Now you put it on me.
All right.
And I'm the bad guy.
All right. No. Okay.
If I leave it in.
No, take that. Yeah, forget that. Take that.
No, leave that.
Fine. No. Hashtag. I wear my hat backwards to appeal to the kids.
The kids?
All right. Whatever.
Because the kids are all into Kiss these days.
I guess. But anyways, that's what we got for the world of Twitter this week, Zeus.
All right. It'd be nice if I had Facebook up, open, and ready to go, but I don't. So let's see what we got here. Let's see what the new selection is. Remember
Let's see what
Paul
the next selection is.
Didn't Paul say that one time?
Yeah. Let's see what the next selection is.
Ace wants to sing a song for you. He's ready to go. Let's find out the selection for this evening.
Who talked the selection? What are you at, a fucking jukebox?
He was a jukebox hero. All right. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm just laughing at stupidity. Gen X Jace. That's our buddy Jason Warden. Another home run, fellas. My favorite was I Stole Your Love from the Summit in Houston that I first saw from the vault on Exposed.
Yes.
I love that because you know what? That's the one where Gene like looks at the camera at some point and just flicks his tongue like 500 fucking times in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. In 2014, I drove to see our boys play with Def Leppard in Houston. Talking to a guy at the bar before the show, he mentioned he was at one of the 77 Summit shows. I then mentioned it being ironic that Summit is now a church, home of Joel Osteen Ministries.
Oh, God.
Okay. Bobby Kenner. Holy shit, boys. I laughed so hard during this episode. The It's a Wonderful Life and Christmas Carol stuff was hysterical. Tom said it best way back in episode 32.
Whoa.
We're here for entertainment under the umbrella of Kiss. Tom, did you say that? That's a great way of summarizing our show.
That was like 350 episodes ago. I trust our listeners to quote me correctly.
Oh, God. This episode nailed that perfectly. I really enjoyed the Love Gun tour breakdown, but the laughs are what brings it home. Enjoy the mentions of the behind-the-scenes tour pranks, too. Nice. Listen, I will tell you, Bobby, we love hearing that. If we're just going to be talking about Kiss, we would have been bored out of our minds.
Oh, like God.
200 episodes ago.
Yep, absolutely.
Jerry Greetons says, without a doubt, was them at their peak. 100% agree. Freddie Salas says, some great laughs in this episode. Thanks for keeping it fun. Well, thank you, Freddie. I haven't seen your name, so love that you're coming in on the comments. Brendan Compton adds, halfway through watching on YouTube, it was their best costume era. And if you look at the rankings that we did, Tom would agree with you on that. That Love Gun was the best. So, he's 100% on board with you. Let's go over to Loudcasters. And again, I apologize. We're doing this on we're recording on a Tuesday. So, I know people will have comments after today, but we're not going to be able to get to them. BC Allison adds, this episode was amazing, guys. When I woke up Saturday morning and saw the topic, I could hardly wait to start my morning walk and listen to my favorite podcast, Shout It Out Loudcast. Having said that, the episode brought back some negative memories from my childhood. I was a kid who was introduced to Kiss when the debut came out. I was 4, but I had an older cousin who babysat me and always brought a stack of albums for us to listen to. Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Skynyrd, and Kiss. I was mesmerized by Kiss from the first time I saw that debut album. In April 76, Kiss came to my hometown. The same cousin who introduced me to Kiss got 2 tickets for us to go see them. But my mom, who was basically like Jam's mom in Detroit Rock City, vetoed that plan, saying her 6-year-old wasn't going to go see some acid rock band. I was heartbroken.
Oh, no.
I just want to put something in perspective. You imagine a 6-year-old now at a Kiss concert? They'd call like fucking like DCF on you.
True.
Right? Anyways, fast forward to July 77, and Kiss returned to my town on the Love Gun tour. I didn't know about it until after it happened because my mom had an active campaign to make sure I didn't find out that they had come back. To this day, I haven't forgiven her for denying me not 1, but 2 golden opportunities to see the greatest rock and roll band ever. On a positive note, I still have a poster from that tour framed, hanging in my man cave. Great episode, guys. Thanks for another trip down memory lane. Even if my memory is a little bittersweet, you guys rule. Wow.
Thank you.
That's a great story, BC Allison. Thank you.
That is great.
John Clifford, my absolute favorite studio album by Kiss. Sure, not every song great. Hooligan and Then She Kissed Me, he writes. But this is the band at their best. Production is good, home to classics like I Stole Your Love, Shock Me, and Love Gun. For me, this and Alive 2 are hands down my go-to Kiss albums. That's good to know, John.
Yep.
Brad Rustoven. Tom, great point. Memories playing tricks on us, especially the way we perceive things as kids. Things in the past appear much bigger than they actually were. Have you ever gone back to the house you grew up in? Doesn't everything look smaller? Paul even referenced this very point in the recent interview on the Billy Corgan podcast. See the transcript, and he put it up. As Legendary Alive 2 gatefolds out of the tours you've covered, I'm looking at the set list performing overall stage hits. Hits would still be number one for me. Hot in the shade, he's saying.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. And we mentioned this when we were doing the episode. Because most of the pictures and videos you see of Kiss is like just the zoomed in on the stage with the lights and the costumes and the close-ups of Gene. But when you look back, it's our memories. Like the great analogy about the house that you grew up in type thing. Yeah, it's funny when you're younger, everything seems massive. Just everything seems massive and so important. And then when you get to be our age, you're like, none of it matters.
Yeah. Gordon Duncan, like many of you, Destroyer was my first album, but Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun quickly followed. My 7-year-old eyes stared at that cover for hours. I wondered, are those women worshiping them? I was stunned. With that, I can't imagine how amazing it would have been to see this tour. 5 songs from arguably the greatest album. Wow. Today, I wish there were more songs from the first 3 albums, but then I wouldn't have cared. Thanks to the deep dives, boys. They always make for long days when Kiss They always make me long for the days when Kiss was as much about the music as they were about the other junk that got in the way.
Yes.
Thanks, Gordon. The Greek Thunder from Down Under, Thanos Akratides says, great show, guys. I would have loved to see this to hear because this is Kiss at their peak. Although I think that Kiss's world domination began when they did the reunion tour, this is definitely Kiss's biggest tour in their heyday of the 70s. Would love to have had a copy of the intended Kiss Alive 2 with Take Me and Hooligan. Question, guys, what tunes do you think we'll get in Vegas for the acoustic show and lecture show? Will it be new tunes as in ones that haven't been played in a while or the same old, same old? Tom?
It's going to be just like the Kiss Cruise. You're going to get the same old, and they'll throw one thing at you like they did on the Kiss Cruise.
Yeah, they're going to throw in things like Got to Choose and think that that's a deep cut when they play it every time on the acoustic sets.
That's right. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to this event, do not hold your breath for the olden days of the Kiss Cruise. Yeah. We talked about this. The olden days of the Kiss Cruises that unfortunately we never went on, that's when you were getting legitimate deep cut. Pretty much the whole set list was crazy.
Do not go in there with expectations high.
Don't do it. You will
not enjoy it.
Nope.
I'm telling you. So let's go continue. Michael Galante adds, I think Paul's vocal issues were really noticeable on the 2014 tour with Def Leppard. I knew that he was already having issues during the previous tour. DL opened and were excellent, and most of the crowd seemed to see them. I took my girlfriend who wanted to see Leopard, and when Paul was singing the first song, Cycle Circus, she said, whoa, what's wrong with his voice?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Kendall Lacey adds, a brilliant episode, sirs. Just seemed like the band was at the top of their powers. I'm a Destroyer guy, but this tour looked amazing.
Yep.
All right, Tom, let me go check over on Blue Sky if what we have over there.
All right.
Wobbly Magoo adds, please, 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 please don't ruin It's a Wonderful Life for me. It's my only remaining Christmas tradition. Sorry, brother.
We're here to ruin it.
Yeah. Beach Boys are the GOAT. Zeus with the Dwight deep cuts, co-written and sung with Buck. I think he was talking about you were mentioning there were signs of stuff like I Was There, and then I started singing. I can't believe he picked up on that. A little snippet of I was there, I was there, I was there when love came gone. I was there with Buck Owens. Anyways, I'm glad somebody can pick up on that country shit. Tom, let's go over now to YouTube.
You do.
Daniel Farrell, who I think was comment of the week, says, great show. Thanks for the shout out. Music KRQ, I'm not going to be here anymore. Wrote, it would be hilarious to do a Christmas It's a Wonderful Life. Gene, of course, has to be Mr. Potter.
Oh, God.
Killer Dude says, to answer your question regarding Paul's voice, it was Rock the Nation tour where the crack started the show. He was still good, but you could tell something was off. Sonic Boom, his voice was already bad. Go back and watch the Letterman performance of that album. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was just kind of going like, yeah, you knew something was bad.
Yep.
Whether it's off or maybe he had a bad night, that's what I was thinking. Like those other nights before that, they weren't consistent. Like, yeah, he just can't do it.
Right.
As the other ones wrote. Somebody named Chris Bonner wrote 15,000 comments here. Oh, our old friend Montreal 3944, which I think is Costas.
Yes.
Super show, fellas. The episode brought me back being an 8-year-old that summer of 77. This truly was Kiss at its commercial peak. The rawness of the first 3 albums had now morphed into a crisper, polished sound that was carried onto the stage as the soundtrack for the best rock and roll entertainment available. I can still remember being wide-eyed listening to my brother's friend describe the show he attended the night before at the Forum. I'm assuming it's Montreal Forum. I must have listened to that Love Gun 8-track 100 times that July, and this began my journey of Kiss Tardation. I found this audio clip of Gene being interviewed on the day of July 77 by Chom FM, a progressive rock station. Is that Chode FM? Which hardly ever played any Kiss songs at the time. I'm adding the link here as it was funny when the DJ asked Gene if the band is planning to record a concept album as well, if they're considering removing the makeup. Gene scoffs at both questions. Foreshadow. Final thought. Can you imagine if Vinny was cast as Clarence in Kiss A Wonderful Life? That show would be over 10 minutes in, and he'd never show up at the bridge to save George.
That's true. George jumps off the bridge. Where's Clarence? I had to cancel. I couldn't make the arrangements.
I wasn't happy with the arrangement set up for my my monetary reimbursement for my travel costs. And does anybody have a storage facility? I have a couple things that I need to put away. Finally, I'm going to go to Joseph Kiss Sr. That is such a great point about people whose whole identity is wrapped up in being a Kiss fan. I couldn't imagine having no other interests other than Kiss.
Yeah.
54 years old, just sitting around in your winged Kiss hoodie, watching the Winterland 75 bootleg on VHS for the 30,000th time, yelling upstairs to your mom to make you a sandwich for lunch.
Or worse, asking to make you breakfast using the Gene Simmons Demon Waffle Iron, which is an actual item.
I have that.
What?
I have that.
How do you have that? I don't.
I do not know. I think my kid got it for me when I was like, years ago. It was like to find me something for Christmas. I have that.
Bring it to Vegas.
I can't imagine it works.
Bring it to Vegas. We'll make waffles in the hotel room.
Hey, guys, you're making waffles and you can't do that. I'll break your fucking head if you don't make flapjacks.
Kulik pancakes. It's the only thing we make around here.
Remember, if you get the trivia answers wrong, Lisa comes over and pancakes your ass with a paddle. Tom, I'm done. Over to you.
All right. Let's take a look at a couple things we get on Spotify. As we always like to remind our listeners, you can comment directly on Spotify, which is very cool. Because some people listen to stuff, then they forget to comment, or they, whatever. They get caught up in their own lives. But this is great. While you're listening, you can comment right there. So very cool. B. Peeves, love these episodes. I don't know why, but I love getting the details on the crowd size in the arenas. Like everyone else, I don't get why they couldn't have mixed up the last few years' set list. Another great review. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Acavano.
Thank you. MS Kavik, currently listening to the latest episode. I'm a bit drunk. That being said, you two always nail it, whether I'm drunk or not. I can't think about It's a Wonderful Life or Beef Stroganoff the same way ever again. I tell you, that's one of the greatest compliments ever, that whether you're drunk or not, you enjoy us. So thank you. Daniel,
he didn't say he was drunk off of cock, did he?
He did not. But we didn't ask to specify.
Okay.
We got one more here from Daniel, and I guess, to each his own. Daniel says, I love Gene's Love Gun outfit. He looks so hot. His chest, belly, and belly button.
What?
All I'm thinking of is, yes, I was burned about the face, chest, neck, and breast area.
The little makeup seals everything.
Hey, Daniel, God love you, brother. Whatever it takes. Let's move over to Instagram. We got one comment here from our buddy Abusement. Can you get any more iconic than Kiss in 77, 78? The music, the costumes, stage, performances, and photo shoots of the band during this era are nothing short of perfection. And thank you, Tom, for sharing those bootleg titles and recommendations. I'm excited to hunt these down and have something new to listen to. Yeah, awesome. Love to spread the word. A couple comments here. We got one from, this is a question, a comment. This comes from Krister Viken. What is this thing with Eric Singer and the shows in Vegas? Well, I'm going to briefly give you this in a quick episode here. Eric Singer has not been mentioned at all during this entire thing since it was mentioned and announced back in March. And right now there's no drummer. So take that for what you will. There'll be a lot more to talk about that. Our buddy Kyle Schneider, Tom and Zeus love this episode. For many, this is the definitive version of the band. It was great listening to Tom as this is your favorite era. Kiss only played 30-plus dates on this tour. That is crazy. Love Gun shipped platinum. I Love Kiss played heavy selections from their 3 most recent albums at the time. They toured so much back then, those first 3 album songs probably had fatigue factor. Although the difference here is the band was young, hungry, and played with fire. They still should have changed up the set list. Fans knew the songs. Kiss could have easily played a deep cut and it would have went over well. Kiss did this again in the 80s, pertaining to recent heavy song selections with Creatures, Lick It Up, and Animalize. I'm with you, Tom. Why did they cut Hooligan and Take Me from the set list? Hooligan is my favorite Peter song. Oh. Sorry, Zeus.
Oh.
And why weren't they not on Alive 2? Instead of those deep cuts, they added Hard Luck Woman and Tomorrow and Tonight. The latter was never even performed live. I don't even understand this band sometimes, but I love that there are deep cuts on live albums. Looking forward to the Alive box set. Probably the last Kiss purchase I will ever make. That's a lie. Thank you for all the hard work and love you put into your show every week. We all reap the benefits. Thank you, Kyle Schneider. Keep on rocking. Well, thank you, Kyle. We always love hearing from you and your emails. Appreciate that very much, my friend. Zeus, I'm going to throw it back to you to wrap up feedback for this week.
Sure. Over on Facebook, we got a comment from John Hudson. I don't remember John making a comment before, but here you go. Okay. He writes, fantastic episode. The Kiss It's a Wonderful Life is the gift that keeps on giving. I think Paul would make a great Clarence, except in this version, he tells everybody how shitty their lives would be if he hadn't been born. That's fucking awesome and absolutely 100% on target. John, for adding that comment and making me laugh and for jumping in and commenting on our show for the first time, because I don't remember seeing you before, buddy. But you, my friend, are comment of the week.
Good answer. Good answer. I know what you think. We're going to be watching you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that very much. Great question. I love the fact that you have the same sense of humor that we do and that you get it. That goes a long way. So thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and the people that also get it, Tom, is our Patreon family.
Yes.
God, I can't tell you how much Tom and I appreciate all that you do for us. It's such a big help to the show, your contribution to Patreon. And that's where you go to our website, shoutitoutloudcast.com.
Go to him.
Right on the landing page is the icon for Patreon. You click on that. It'll give you 4 tiers you can pick from, and it's a monetary tier. With each tier, you get to get more perks. So the higher the tier, the more perks. So there are perks like our merch that we give out. There are involvement in the show. There are video chats that we do. There's message boards. It's an ARC pick. There's the mailbag pick. There are polls. All sorts of stuff that's involved. We appreciate Patreon because you guys do so much for us and it helps the show grow. And you guys are one of the reasons why we're the #1 Kiss podcast. You guys out there in Patreon that help and support us. So thank you to Patreon. And if you're interested in helping the show and seeing us grow, the first tier is $3. You can come in and join and help us grow. Appreciate you guys. And thanks for all the support, Patreon.
Guys, thank you so much for everything. It's amazing, the continued support that we get, the long-lasting support that we've had. It's incredible. Please check us out. Find out what all the excitement is about. We'd love to have you join this amazing family. Please check us out. Click on the link at shoutitoutloudcast.com. Download the app, search for us, and become part of this amazing family. It's tons of fun, and there's tons to offer, so please check us out.
Tom, we're going to go over to Kiss World and see what's going on there.
So we are recording on Tuesday, October 7th, and it was exciting today because Kiss finally released a little teaser video of what's to come next week. So it's a little video that shows the date of 5/16/1975, and it's audio and video of Kiss performing live, and then the date scrolls forward to October 16th, 2025, and it's telling the KISS VIP members to sign up and get early access. So we're all assuming this is either the Alive box set, or this is the Dress to Kill box set with a live show. But either way, we talked about this. It's coming next Thursday. So if you're not a KISS VIP member, get that. I will say this. The box sets don't sell out, and the box sets can be purchased anywhere. They're available on Amazon and everything. So my guess is if they're telling people to get VIP access, they're probably offering something else besides the box set, maybe some kind of a 50th anniversary picture disc like they did with Alive 2. They did a picture disc because for the 45th anniversary of Alive, they didn't do a picture disc. So VIP access to me means that there's going to be probably something special, probably something limited besides the box set. So that was kind of a big deal. People getting a little excited about that, Zeus.
Yeah, I'm excited. We kind of knew this date was coming. We told you about it.
Yep.
Told a few other people exactly the dates, and proves our source was correct.
Yep.
And it's going to get there. We're all going to get it at the same time. So the excitement and stuff is great, but we're all going to get it in our hands at the same time. And there's nobody's going to be better than anybody else. So let's just be patient, get it, and then we can break it down and dissect it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's the one thing I love about these box sets is breaking them down, doing the overall review, and then breaking down the discs and everything. So I'm excited to get 2 more box sets. It's going to be fucking incredible. Another thing about Kiss Vegas. So there was a big thing last week where Kiss posted a thing for the Kiss Vegas event. It said Meet Kiss, and it had a picture of Gene, Paul, and Tommy. And people were freaking out that that's not Kiss. Where's Eric? Blah, blah, blah. But the other issue that people noticed was that it was 3 separately cropped photos of the members. It wasn't a group photo. The picture of Gene looked like something from his Vault tour or whatever.
The Paul, different eras.
Yeah.
Paul had different hairdo. And
yeah. So
I don't know where that's from.
But within about 24 hours, the post came down. So Kiss obviously heard, but it's back up with a new photo, and it's a group photo of Gene, Paul, and Tommy together saying Meet Kiss. So I don't know if that is going to fix everything that people were losing their minds over, probably not, but I found it interesting that they took it down and then reposted it with a new photo. So that's interesting. I still find it interesting that nobody at all with 5 weeks to go has mentioned anything about a drummer. I find that fascinating. Nobody knows who it's going to be. We can't even get rumors out of anybody that we know. Nobody has any knowledge on this, Zeus.
Yeah, it's just we're all kind of acting as though this isn't happening in front of us.
Right.
I still believe he's going to be there, Tom. I do. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. And the other big bit of news is obviously the unfortunate and terrible news about Ace Frehley. On his social media, on Facebook, they posted Due to ongoing medical issues, Ace has made the difficult decision to cancel the remainder of his 2025 show dates. This is obviously not good when the rest of the tour gets canceled. This gives you the impression that something serious is going on. We hope that that is not the case. We are lucky enough to be friends with those guys, Ryan and Jeremy and those guys. You saw the pictures that we were able to take, and especially with Ace and, enjoying that show. You listen to that review episode. So thoughts, well wishes, prayers go out to not only Ace and his immediate family and loved ones, but also the guys that are in the band that are, now kind of watching their hero hopefully get well soon. So I guess that's kind of all we know about this right now, Zeus.
Yeah, I think if they're already announcing the ending of the tour, it's serious, guys.
Yeah.
I really believe it's serious. He wouldn't have just done that. Or you'd see pictures of him, or they'd want to put a photo with him with, the epic Ace thumbs up. Like, I'm okay, guys, but I just have to cancel this tour.
Right.
So what's going to happen? I don't know. But we've had this conversation. We've teared whatever hair we've had left in our heads out about the fact that these guys are all alive.
Yeah.
And nothing better happened before they all kiss and make up. And, I don't know how serious this is, but my thing is that I'm not happy that we're at this point right now. And would you say that Paul and Ace are in a good place?
No, because we can still have some fun with Ace, but the quote that we love, I'm not fucking going to Vegas. We don't have any facts behind this, but let's be serious. It's probably got something to do with Paul. I mean, that's our guess. But you're right. How can they not be? You're right. It's sad that we're hoping for the best for Ace. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen. But I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it's sad, and it's unfortunate. And we've been spoiled because there are very few bands, if any, that were as big as Kiss for as long as they were, where all the original members are alive. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now that I can think of.
Not Led Zeppelin, not AC/DC,
not Rush,
not Metallica.
Right. Yep.
Who else is big? I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. Even if you want to start getting into the 80s and the 90s, not Alice in Chains, not Soundgarden,
not Rolling Stones,
not the Rolling Stones,
not the Beatles.
Yep.
Like those type of bands, not Queen.
Yep.
Not the Who.
Right. Yeah.
And so, look, as you guys know, we love to have fun with Ace.
Of course.
Okay? We love to have fun with this. He's the gift that keeps giving. He's Ace. We love him. We want him to get well. We want him to be safe.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that we can only be one way with our heroes. We have fun with Ace, and we're going to continue to have fun with Ace. And it'll be even better if he gets back on his feet and is healthier.
Right.
So, we're going to still say, Tom Zeus, you better cut the shit. If I see you soon, I'm going to crack some fucking heads. Oh, boy.
That's what we're hoping for.
Right? So, and he knows that there's a difference between joking and not joking about what we're talking about when we have fun with Ace.
Ace fans are sharp.
Exactly. 100%.
Right? Now, Ace fans are sharp, but what does he think about the other fans?
A lot of Kiss fans aren't the brightest people in the world.
See? He's right. Ace is the words of wisdom from Ace.
Oh, my God. God bless him. So we're thoughts and prayers with Ace and the band and everybody involved. We hope he gets back on his feet and is well.
Yep.
And, this is what it is. But God forbid anything should happen. God bless him. All right, let's go into our topic, Tom.
Stop. Don't talk anymore. I've been looking at the... Hello?
God love Ace.
Oh
my God almighty. Fantastic.
All right, Tom. So this week we found a clip on YouTube. I'm not going to play the fucking YouTube noise. It's basically Paul and Eric Carr doing some hosting duties in 1989 on MTV.
Yep.
Here's the clip.
We were doing, what's that show called? Hard 30. Hard 30, thank you. Hard 30, that's half of Hard 60. Anyway, we were doing that show, and we had a great time. We did it all week, and then Gene left, and lo and behold, Sunday the phone rings. They asked me to come in. MTV says, can you do some VJ work? I said, fine. It's lonely doing this by myself. Very lonely. I'd rather have Gene here. I'd rather have Eric here, Bruce, anybody. Well, who did I get? I got anybody. I got Eric. I called him up. Eric Carr, how are you doing?
Paul Stanley, how are you?
We haven't seen each other in...
what, a week?
A week or so. You've changed a lot.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that there's nothing wrong with your TV, even though it looks like I have the jacket on that Paul had on the other show. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I wore the glasses to make sure that you wouldn't get confused as to who was who. Back to you.
Thank you. And now, cartoons. No. Right now, it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Flea on bass. I always say Flea because I don't know anybody named Flea. This is Higher Ground. The beginning is very cool. You've seen all the Kiss videos. Why? Because Eric is the drummer in Kiss, of course. Right?
That's right.
As of yesterday?
To you.
Right. Let's talk about Hide Your Heart.
Okay. What was your most memorable moment making that video?
And now back to you. Actually, we shot this in Los Angeles. This was the first video we've done from the new album, Hot in the Shade. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. And we'll be going out to L.A. to shoot 2 more. But Hide Your Heart, you have anything that you remember from doing this other than saying more light on me?
I remember the helicopter that was doing all that overhead, that great overhead stuff on us when we were playing. And it was really strange, watching, as you're playing, watching this helicopter coming from a couple of thousand feet away.
Trim, right?
Sideways.
A little off the top.
Yes, a little off the top, but it was cool. It was really great.
Anyway, this one's called Hide Your Heart. There's a helicopter in the background. This is a pretty good video. We're proud of this one. And we got videos from REM coming up after the MTV News, where you find out everything you need to know. But right now, a word from Twix. Lucky enough to have made a phone call to find Eric Carr at home.
How you doing out there?
He came in, keeping me company. Let me tell you about Dave Gilmour, who discovered Kate Bush. I'm going to say this with a straight face. Dave Gilmour discovered Kate Bush when she was only 16 years old, and he was her mentor for a long time and continues to be involved in her career. In fact, David plays guitar on her new LP, The Sensual World, and he appears in her new video. So here's Kate Bush, Love and Anger. I said, remember, it's world premiere week here on MTV, and that's very cool because it means that there's world premiere videos all week long. Tomorrow you can look for the new one from Rod Stewart, and on Wednesday we'll have the world premiere from Eric Clapton's first release from his album, The Journeyman. Thursday we'll check in with the world premiere on Tears for Fears release, Woman in Chains. And today we have 2 world premieres. Tell them about it.
That's right. We have the Fine Young Cannibals' newest video. We'll have its global viewing at 7:30 tonight. Stick around for that during Now Hear This. And in about 20 minutes, we'll have the first ever showing of the new Aerosmith video, Janie's Got a Gun. It'll be seen at 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m. during Now Hear This, and at 10 p.m. Young MC.
Bust a move. That's what's coming up right now. Eric, you did that really well. I'm leaving. Just we got the Aerosmith world premiere, so stay with us because it gets bippany.
And this isn't Paul's jacket.
No. Even though you saw something similar yesterday, my jacket, same taste. Anyway, this afternoon, MTV lineup looks something like this. At 4 p.m., it's the Hard 30. Gene and I hosted that last week. This week, you've got Klaus and Rudolph from the Scorpions. And then at 4:30, it's Yo, MTV Raps. Now, joining Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, I love saying that. Yo, Ed Lover is superstar Bobby Brown. Bobby will be co-hosting Yo, MTV Raps. So to get you in the mood, this is Bobby Brown with Rock With You, Ed Lover. Ed Lover.
Yo.
Lines are open. I have no shame. This is America. You can vote. You can be heard. Of course, what you want to vote for is Hide Your Heart by Kiss. So, call MTV at 1-800-DIAL-MTV, and at 5:30, Adam Curry will count down the top most requested videos of the day. Of course, you know it's going to be number 1 or number 2 or number 3. We don't accept anything. It's got to be like the top 3, okay? Escape Club, 20th Century Fox is coming up. Dial MTV, Hide Your Heart, Kiss. Don't forget. Anyway, we're 10 minutes away from the Hard 30 with the Scorpions, with Klaus and Rudolph. And at 4:30, it's Yo, MTV Raps with Bobby Brown and Ed Lover. That's what they call him, Ed Lover. Anyway, and at 5 p.m., it's Club MTV with Downtown Julie Brown. Some people have to call her Miss Julie Brown. I know her well. I just call her Julie. Anyway, 5:30, it's Dial MTV. You're going to be calling for Hide Your Heart, and we're going to be celebrating later on. See you. We had a great time.
All right, Tom, let's get your first thoughts.
Yeah, so obviously that's the clip with all the videos and commercials edited out of it. So it's about a 5 or 6 minute clip. Couple things that I noticed, like right off the bat, and maybe this is what happens when you have like a predisposition to things. Right off the bat, I'm like, why is Paul already being passive aggressive with Eric?
You found him to be passive aggressive.
Just right away when he introduced Eric, when Paul was like, I VJ'd, before, and, I found it to be a very lonely experience. So I told MTV, I wanted Gene or Bruce or Eric or anybody. And, here's anybody. And, now if you're not a Kiss nerd like us and you don't know the background of their relationship, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute and funny. But again, Paul doesn't do anything by accident. So I don't know, but that was my first impression. But that being said, first of all, I thought Paul looked awesome. I thought Eric looked awesome.
I agree with you there.
I thought their little banter was, I really enjoyed Eric. Okay. I thought Paul was typical hokey Paul. And the other thing too, so we're 52 years old. Okay. We grew up with this MTV. We know exactly what they're talking about. Okay. World premiere videos with scheduled times. You would set your clock for that.
Yep.
You'd be like, oh, okay, 7:30 tonight, the new Aerosmith video is premiering. Okay, let's get so this really was a slice of nostalgia. So there's a couple of my general overview before I kind of nitpick it, Zeus. Why don't you kind of tell us what you thought about the
reason why this stood out to me?
Yes.
I'm like, this is the most they've let Eric talk I've ever seen.
100%.
The second reason why I picked this out, this is 1989.
Yeah.
Tension before, tension afterwards, tension in the middle. You would never know it.
Right. They were great together. The banter was awesome. I agree.
Yeah, I was so fascinated. And again, this only works on a Kiss podcast because we're all like so ingrained with like, we know the background story between them and the tension, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That we can like take a 5-minute clip and watch body language, listen to tone and see how they interact. That's why I found this fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Did they say anything fascinating or funny?
No.
Dude,
but every Kiss clip becomes like the Zapruder film, and it's like that's what we do.
Exactly. So that's my initial reaction, Tom.
Yeah. So okay, after my little kind of comment about the passive aggressive, I thought that they really, the back and forth, the way they looked at each other, the way they talked. First of all, I thought they were great. I could have actually seen the two of them kind of hosting a show together. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that I found it extremely unique and awesome to see just Paul and just Eric. That's a combination that you never see. Kind of like when we did that clip way back about
Ace and Gene
on the
in
Don,
Australia
on the Don Lane show. That was incredible because that's something you never saw. So I thought that was really cool. I really liked just the back and forth when, again, Paul with his hokey jokes, but kind of talking about the Hot in the Shade video. This is one we're really proud of. I like that. Like Paul kind of giving himself a little bit of credit, which he doesn't do that often. Eric talking about the filming of the video, with the helicopter and stuff. Mm-hmm. So not a ton of Kiss stuff in it, but it's 1989 and Hot in the Shade had just come out, and Hide Your Heart was massive at that time.
Yeah, I enjoyed them talking about the video for Hide Your Heart. And
yeah,
I found it interesting and fascinating because, like, Paul, he has his quirks with everything and everybody. Yeah. Later on, he has this problem with Aerosmith. Because they mentioned Aerosmith in their world premiere for Janie's Got a Gun.
Yep.
And I was looking for, like, was there anything back then that Paul's like jealous of him or made a comment negatively? No. And it's, the other part to this is like the bands that he was introducing and the stuff in that era that you kind of knew about what he was talking about. God. When he starts talking about And I just like saying Flea.
Yeah. And then when
the
he's
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
But then I'm like, God, it is 1989. We got a world premiere video from Tears for Fears followed by Fine Young Cannibals. I'm like, dear God, like what the fuck? And, then he starts talking about Kate Bush. I'm like,
yeah, and David Gilmour.
Like, can you imagine setting your alarm for the world premiere of a Tears for Fears video? Now, I like Tears. Okay, they got a couple big hits, but like this is what was going on at the time.
Did you shout?
Yeah, like,
let it all out.
And Janie's Got a Gun, horrendous song, stupid video. Like, I mean, just
big fan of Aerosmith in the 90s, Tom.
Oh God, I can't stand anything they did after the 70s except for maybe Rockin' a Hard Place, but whatever. But then it was kind of funny too. Like, I kind of laughed, but I cringed when he's like, "Yo, MTV Raps." And he's like, with Ed Lover. I like saying Lover, Ed Lover. Like,
all I thought of game show lover. He doesn't say the word game show lover. Don't we have a listener that handle his game show lover?
Yes. But I'm like, dude, like, but you forget about that. Yo, MTV Raps with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, not the NWA Dr. Dre, the other Dr. Dre, the big fat Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Yeah. And again, he doesn't. He starts using that, like, he's using a rapper's voice.
Yeah.
Yo, MTV Raps. Like God, I cringe.
So cringe.
Oh, absolutely. But the bands that they were introducing, that not so much. I just like seeing how they were talking to each other, talking about the jacket, and Eric was just cheery. And you think to yourself, he's going to be dead in a couple years.
So that was the other thing that was, we kind of got a little bit of the humor out of the way first, but that was the other thing I thought of him. Like, everything you've heard about Eric from those that knew him and loved him and were friends with him, like, that came through in this short clip. Mm-hmm. Such a nice smile, such like a nice tone of voice, just such an outwardly friendly, non-confrontational type of person, Like, you wanted to hear more from him, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. I thought he looked like a good-looking guy. The hair was fucking ridiculous.
Oh, the hair was insane.
Right?
Yeah.
But I just looked at that like, wow, imagine if he made it through. I mean, again, this is 89.
Yeah.
He's dead in 91.
That's right. Yep.
So I find these clips like this fascinating for me. And do they work? Like, does it make you think? Does it make you start figuring out, like, how bad was it between them?
Right. The other thing too is when we pick out these short, obscure clips, I like them because they're definitely left of center, and it's like it's a snapshot of Kiss especially in this one, where they're not doing Kiss things, right? Like, this is Paul and Eric, but they're not. It's Paul and Eric of Kiss, but they're not doing anything Kiss. You know what I mean? They're hosting an MTV show, and you're seeing a different kind of personality, a different side, a different kind of behavior, and I find that unique and I find that interesting.
So what I'll say about that is, you see them in the 80s and 90s trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Oh, yeah.
They would never do shit like this. This is beneath them now, Paul.
Oh, God, yeah.
But this is them. They need to get their face up. Paul was just talking about that. He was just on with Gene doing something. Now he's back. He has to be on, film. You need to get your name out there to keep Kiss out there.
New album.
This is 89. Hot in the Shade tour is going to be, kind of rejuvenation for the band. You got Forever. You've got, Hide Your Heart video coming out. So they do have something to be looking forward to. But that's because they're, fucking hustling at this point to keep their name and brand out there.
Yeah. Another thing that was kind of funny that has nothing to do with Kiss, or really doesn't have anything to do with Paul or Eric, is I was laughing when they said, "Who's up next?" The guys from Scorpions.
Oh, yeah. Klaus and something, Rudolph, maybe.
Yeah.
It was. I forget who they had.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure they're friends with them. They know each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But I find it all fascinating the way Paul seems natural in front of the camera. I thought he was perfect doing the videos and the way he talked. I was like, wow. It wasn't cringy Paul. It was smooth.
The other thing too, it wasn't a guarded Paul. Like he hasn't entered in 1989, he wasn't in that guarded phase yet. He was in, like you said, that I want to get out in public and I want everybody to see my face and know about Kiss, that version of Paul. So I think that suited him well. And you could tell how comfortable he was. You could tell how much he enjoyed that. And I thought Eric did great. I mean, again, he didn't have much to say, but I wonder who picked Eric. I wonder if Paul said, I want Eric to do this with me.
Or did MTV say, we want you with somebody else?
Exactly. Did MTV say, hey, we want you with, the drummer? Everybody knows Paul, Gene. We want this.
Or did Eric ask, hey, can I come?
Exactly. Right. I think that would have been a kind of a little bit of a fascinating dynamic. How did Eric end up here? Right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that I don't know if I trust Paul's version of how he ended up there.
Oh, I definitely don't.
Yeah.
I
can see them asking, like, oh, we want you to have two of you guys there. All right, but Gene can't. Well, fuck Bruce. I'll bring in Eric. He's been in the longest.
Probably. Maybe. Yeah.
Again, this is hot in the shade, Eric. He doesn't make it to Revenge.
Nope.
So this is the last version of him. You see him there, and he's young, and he's happy, and he's healthy, and you just can't help to be thinking to yourself, like, subconsciously as you're watching him, like, are there signs? Is that a wig? Is that his real hair? Is he sick?
Right.
Doesn't look it.
He looks amazing.
He looks amazing, and when you see that, and then you think about, Ace is like not doing so well, you're like, fuck.
Yep.
Now, hey, Paul, you said you maybe do things a little bit differently with Eric. What are you doing here?
It's such a great point. Yeah.
It puts things in perspective the way I see it. Right.
It's a great point. Yep.
So in the end, there's not much more to break down, unfortunately. But again, I'm fascinated by this stuff. We hope you guys are, so we like these kind of things for us. I love these little short clips that we can break down and dissect.
Me too.
They're not usually going to get talked about, but fascinating shit.
Yep. I love it.
And Tom, what we normally do too is we actually rank these.
That's right. We do.
So let's go now to the list of episodes that we've ranked. So we rank these under Kiss TV appearances. So here is the list that we have done. ABC in Concert, Mike Douglas Show, Midnight Special, Kiss on So It Goes, Paul Lynde Halloween Special, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, Land of Hype and Glory, Kiss on Tomorrow with Tom Snyder, Kids Are People Too, Gene and Ace on the Don Lane Show, Kiss on Fridays, Kiss TV, MTV, Kiss Unmasking, Paul and Gene on Oprah, Peter Chris on Donahue, Kiss on Arsenio, Kiss Mad TV Halloween Spooktacular, Kiss on Family Guy, Very Special Family Guy Christmas, Gene and Paul on Fox News with the Hannity Go.
That was awesome.
And then the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, Tom. That's 19. This is number 20. What do you got, Tom? How are yours ranked?
So at number 19, I have Peter Chris on Donahue. Then I have the Kiss Mad TV Halloween Spooktacular, Macy's Day Parade, Gene and Paul on Fox News, Kids Are People Too, Kiss on Family Guy, Gene and Ace on the Don Lane Show, Paul and Gene on Oprah, Kiss on Tomorrow with Tom Snyder, MTV Unmasking, Kiss on Arsenio, So It Goes 76, Paul Lynde Halloween Special, Mike Douglas, Don Kirshner, Land of Hype and Glory, Kiss on Fridays, ABC in Concert, and Midnight Special. Okay, so this is kind of a hard thing to rank here because it's really... It's music related. It's Kiss on MTV. Yeah. It's Kiss on MTV, and they're talking about Hot in the Shade and Hide Your Heart and stuff. And it is unique in that it is Paul and Eric. It's obviously they're not performing, they're not singing, they're not really doing anything Kiss-ish. But I do find it fascinating, but it is going to suffer because of the lack of Kiss activity, I will say. So I'm going to put this right above Gene and Paul on Fox News. I'm going to put this at 16.
Wow, that high. Surprised.
Yeah, just because I like it, because I like seeing Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so mine is...
It's short, and it's, there's not a lot going on, but I don't know, I like it.
All right, so mine is 19 to number 1. Macy's Day Parade. Kiss Mad TV Halloween Spectacular. Gene and Paul on Fox News with Hannity and Combs. Paul and Gene on Oprah. Kids Are People Too. Gene and Ace on The Don Lane Show. Land of Hype and Glory. Kiss on Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. MTV Kiss Unmasking. Kiss on So It Goes. Kiss on Family Guy, Very Special Guy, Family Guy Freaking Christmas. Peter Criss on Donahue. Kiss on Fridays. Kiss on Arsenio. ABC in Concert, Paul Lynn Halloween Special, Mike Douglas, Don Kirshner's Rock Show. We both had Midnight Special. I am going to put this at number 19.
Okay.
The Macy's Day Parade still the worst.
Oh, God, that's funny just because it's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, once you see it once for how bad it is, you don't want to. There's no need to see it again.
There's absolutely no need to ever see it again.
Hosting on MTV, to me, is just. I can keep looking at it because I'll be honest with you, I'm a sentimental guy. It's the last I really see I can think of.
Yep.
Seeing Eric Carr healthy.
Yep.
And happy. So
Agreed.
when you see it, you get kind of a smile on your face. You know.
I agree.
So that to me works at number 19. So anyways,
okay,
Tom, what we do next is we go to this.
Hey, what is this, 20 fucking questions?
Nope, it's not 20 questions. It's just one question, and it's our question of the week, and it comes from our buddy Backpack Brad Rustoven, host of the Slamfest podcast. Check him out. We love Brad. He asked a question related to last week's episode with the Love Gun Tour. Okay. He starts talking about how in 1977, Aerosmith and Queen played a well-balanced set list from their entire discography. And as you guys mentioned, Kiss did not. Who do you think made this decision and why? And what do you think Kiss fans thought of this when they went to see these Love Gun shows? We talked about how they front-loaded this set list with Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun.
Yeah, I think it made a difference? No, because I think there was a whole different Kiss crowd showing up to these concerts than the original first 3 albums Kiss crowd.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I think that doesn't make a difference to them. I think they're happy that they got this opportunity to see these new songs. And plus, how many of our listeners wrote to us and said that they were going to try to go to this concert when they're like 6 years old or 5?
Right.
A whole new group of Kiss fans going to this. So I think they were happy to see Love Gun, I Stole Your Love. That's the new album that just came out. Yeah, I think they were fine.
Yeah. So a couple things about who made this decision and why. So I think Kiss at this point was they're still trying to sell records, okay? Especially probably their back catalog, right? Mm-hmm. Aerosmith and Queen were selling records all along. Kiss were not. So I think they were front-loading this set list with obviously the new album, Love Gun, still pushing Rock and Roll Over, which just came out a year ago, Destroyer, just like all these albums just came out within a span of 3 years, if you can believe that. Yep. I mean, the first album came out in 74, Love Game came out in 77. So pushing the new stuff, maybe that was Paul, because Paul likes to push the new stuff now. And I think I kind of agree with Zeus. I think the fan base in 1977 was a little bit different than before. So I think people wanted to see and hear all this new stuff. That being said, they definitely should have thrown in a couple more things, because if I recall correctly, it was Rock and Roll All Night and maybe Firehouse or something. I don't even think they played Deuce or Strutter or Hotter Than Hell or anything like that.
Cold Gin.
Cold Gin, right. No, I'm not saying that we need to hear those, but I think the reaction was probably like, this is cool. I think that would be my impression.
I like that they did this. And
I do
played
too.
All those songs.
I do too.
I like that we have a live too, which is different than a live, and you can almost get away with the fact that they don't have all those other songs like Rock and Roll All Night and all the others on a live too, because they did so many of the other stuff. But to each their own.
Yep. Great question, Brad. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Tom, where can people find us?
Always go to our website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. Right on the landing page there, you see the link for our amazing Kiss book, Raise Your Glasses. If you haven't gotten one yet, I don't know what you're doing. Please check out the website. You can listen to all the episodes there. You can comment directly on them. All kinds of amazing links, including our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, blah, blah, blah. They're all there. Links to our amazing new merch done by Printify. Click on that link. There's tons of awesome new stuff there. We're super excited about that. Links to our Patreon, which we talked about before, so please check that out. And tons of other links. Links to our rankings, our list. Links to some of the amazing guests that we've had on our show and where you can find their podcasts if they have them and their social media. Very interactive website. We're real proud of that, so check that out. And, of course, our email address, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Please use that. And we always like to say that we're a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network of shows.
Yeah, you DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, motherfucker. Check out our Spotify playlist. You go to our profile, not our podcast, and then you'll see some playlists that we have listed there for you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube. Check it out because we're still putting out new reels and shorts, thanks to our buddy Daryl Albert. And then you can go and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook. Go to Amazon and give our book, Raise Your Glasses, a 5-star review. That helps the show out tremendously, and it's a big help. So please do that. And then I always try to pimp out the website again, shoutitoutloudcast.com, shoutitoutloudcast.com. Tom mentioned so many of the perks there. Go check it out and go pick up some Shout It Out Loudcast merch. There's a link to it right on our landing page. Tom, we always like to end on famous last words. Do you have any?
Of course, famous last words, always ready to go. The word went out that Rose is messing with someone. Oh. It was on the street. Tito looked for Johnny with a vengeance and a gun. Johnny better run. Better run. Okay, Tito.
'Cause the street giveth, and the street taketh away. Where there's no blind justice, no way.
I like that song.
Tom, Loudcasters, Kiss Army, thank you. Best wishes to our buddy Ace.
Guys, you're the best. Thank you for everything. Patreon members, Loudcasters, everybody, you guys rock. Thank you so much. And yes, best wishes to Ace, his family, his friends, his touring band, all those guys. Zeus, as always, my friend. Thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout. Hit the music. What I'd like now is for all you fat, out-of-shape, worldwide kiss-tards to keep the noise down while I show your ladies what a real sexy man looks like.
Listen, all you people out there sitting on rented furniture, settle down.
Cut the music. Anybody seen Richie? Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?